everyone, it's Allison and I'm back with another Arty Party project. So you've probably seen marbled paper out there and thought, gosh, I wonder how they do that. The traditional methods require some serious materials and some skill, but there's actually a way you can do this at home with, of all things, shaving cream. It's the most fun you can have for $1. So what you're going to need is some shaving cream, a shallow tray, some spray bottles, and either liquid watercolor or, fun fact, if you don't have liquid watercolor, food coloring works just as well, and you can mix it to make any color. And these days the gel food coloring is really, really strong, so you don't need like a couple drops, goes a really long way. So my examples here, the thing that you can do with watercolor where you draw with crayons and then do watercolor over it, and the wax in the crayon resists the watercolor, actually also works with this project. So you can draw a picture with crayon and then do your marbling print on top. So now we have a nice fall scene going on. Or you can cut out pieces of paper and plop them on there and it will print the colors on there. Or you can actually cut out stencils, lay them on the shaving cream, and then put something on there and it will stencil the lovely colors on there. This works really great for cards, all kinds of fun stuff. So we're actually going to do all of these. So you can see how it all works. Now, obviously, if you want to do the stencil or if you want to do this version, you're also going to need some crayons and some scissors in addition to the rest of the materials. But what you're going to need for definite materials, like I said, is you're going to need a shallow tray. If you have a jelly roll pan in the house, those work great. Those disposable foil pans from the dollar store, those are also awesome. You're going to need some shaving cream. Doesn't have to even be the stuff that smells good. You know, just foamy shaving cream. You're going to spray a bunch in the tray. It doesn't have to be super deep. Just make sure you get a decent even covering. If you have to fill some gaps in a minute, we will. You're going to need some heavy paper. So I've got some heavy paper and I have folded some chunks in half. Another thing that works really well for this part is an old credit card that you don't use anymore. You can use a current one, but it's going to smell shaving creamy for a while. And you're just going to take your cardboard or your heavy paper and your shaving cream, and you are going to smooth a nice flat surface into this. Just going to get that nice and even. It's kind of like ice in a cake. Just going to get that all smoothed out. Bloop. And now I'm going to take, so I put a couple of drops of food coloring and some water in these, and you're going to see they actually make really bright colors. You'll get better colors out of liquid watercolor, but if you don't have that hanging around, I guarantee food coloring will solve your problems. So you're just going to do some random spraying. Get some nice colors. I decided I wanted to go for warm colors to get that fall foliage look going on. Now you can leave some white spaces or you can cover your whole area. I think I want to cover as much of my foam as possible because I'm going to basically print my whole sheet. Whoop. Get some brighter yellow there. And I think I might put a little stronger red in. Sometimes you gotta make it a little juicier so it stands out right. Boop. Oh, hey, I like that. Now you can you can leave it the way it is. You can use your fingers, or you can use the end of a paintbrush. Makes a great stick for this. You can draw whatever you want in here. You can do a standard, some zigzags up and across marbling pattern. You can draw something, or you can just do some squigglies. Sorry, I know that's loud. You're basically just dragging the color from one area to another. All right, so that should be good and mixed up now. And I have another fall scene that I drew with crayon. And what I'm going to do is I am going to lay that, let's see which way fits better. Looks like this way fits better in my tray. And I'm going to lay that, just gently lay it on. Try not to smear it. Just gently lay it in and give it a gentle rub and push. If you kind of smear it around, it might smudge your colors. But honestly, they do a pretty good job of touching the paper and just sticking. But you just want to make sure every part of your paper touches some colored foam. So you're going to want to smush it in there a little bit. Not too hard, just a little gentle squish. And then, now this is just some regular cardstock. You can use regular paper, but you can kind of see it starting to soak through because it's a little bit wet. You want to use some paper that can handle being a little bit wet. Oh yeah, got good coverage. So now I've got foam all over my paper. That's where your heavy paper or your scrapey credit card or piece of cardboard comes in. You want to scrape the foam off of your paper. And I'm going to stick it, I have a really big tray for some reason today, so I'm going to scrape that back in there. Now you may notice that you can see exactly where the paper was. It ripped off the color. You really only get one print. Now you may notice that there's some untouched areas around the outside. I'm going to hold on to those for a minute and get any spots that I missed the first time. So you're just going to take your little card, scrape off the foam, and you can see, holy moly, these colors came out great. Wasn't that fun? You'd never think it was food coloring. Food coloring on shaving cream. Who'd have thought? So if you do this with warm colors, obviously you can, you can do fall leaves, you can do all kinds of fun things. If you want to go for cold colors, it does like really fun snow things. Or you can just pick whatever colors you like and make neato patterns. Just kind of trying to scrape the rest of this off. Here we go. Now it looks like I missed a little spot over here on the edge, so I am gonna dunk this edge in here real quick. See if I can get that. Ah, yeah, we got some color this time. So now I'll just scrape that off again. See, my paper's getting a little soggy, but that's okay. We'll just let it dry, and then it'll flatten back out. Just gonna scrape that off. Doot, 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 doot. Now, just gonna take a paper towel. So you can see it made really cool swirly things around our little baby deer. It looks kind of like fall leaves up here, like they've fallen everywhere. And that's how that works. I am going to move this whole big tray, though, out of the way. And I'm going to finish wiping off. So you can take a paper towel and wipe the rest of the foam off. Just kind of get that nice and dry. then you'll just let it dry for a couple hours. It depends on how soggy your paper got and how heavy your paper was in the first place. But if you just leave it alone for, 30 minutes to a couple of hours, it will be dry. And you can actually see it's not wiping off on the only color that's coming off on my paper towel is actually attached to the foam. The color that has gone in the paper is part of the paper now, so it's not going to come off unless you like dump a cup of water on it. So that's pretty good marbling. Now, to do the other kind I did, I've got some little hearts cut out, and I cut those out of this stencil. So I'm going to use this stencil to put some cute hearts on this card. And then I'm going to use the same foam to do these cutouts. Now, if you wanted to make some nice fall leaves, you could cut some leaves out of paper, dunk them in these colors. However, you would not want to use the same foam that you just used in your tray. You would want to take your little heavy paper card or your cardboard piece or your credit card, and you'd want to scrape that foam until it was either almost entirely white and start over, or you would fill the tray with another layer of shaving cream. You do have to start over every once in a while. You can get like 1.5 to 2 prints out of one thing. Since I don't want to have to go do all of that with those, and I wanted to show you some other colors, I actually have some trays of cold colors ready to go. So I'm going to do these with just a traditional, simple marbling pattern. And it's really easy to do. You're just going to go up and down, and then side to side. Check that out. Look how neat that looks. I really like this pattern. It's it's one of the older ones. I think it's called feathering, is the name of it. So you literally just go back and forth one way in your tray, and then you go back and forth the other way, and it makes these neato feather shapes. So get that off of there so it doesn't roll around and make a mess. Fortunately, shaving cream can't really hurt anything. So if it rolls around, makes a mess, not a big deal. The only thing you have to worry about is the food coloring that's in it will definitely stain stuff. So these, we're just going to set, once again, you just kind of want to set these in there. Make sure that all of the surface of your cutout, though, touches some foam. So you probably want to squish them in there just a little bit. I want these to go this way. Have the feather go up the middle of, So just kind of squish them in there. There'll be a little poof of foam around it. That is the way it should look. And make sure it goes all the way out to the edge, because otherwise you'll have white around the edges. Another fun thing you can do is, so I cut those hearts out of this sheet to make a stencil. So let's see, can I go this way? Nope. Guess I should have done my feathers this way. That's okay though, it'll still look really cool. So I'm gonna line this up. Then I've got a greeting card, and I'm gonna kind of get that centered up. Actually, I think this is a little too big, so let me get my scissors, and definitely too big. I think it might not squish the right way if we might end up with some very lopsided hearts if I tried to do it this way. So going to make my stencil a little smaller so it fits inside the tray. There we go. Actually need to cut a little more off the bottom here, and it should fit. Ha! Now it fits. So we're gonna just lightly tap that. Now you don't want to smush this too hard because this isn't really the part that you're using. Just want to make sure it's on there pretty steady. Then you want to get your card. Make sure you've got it opening the right way. Kind of line that up. You're gonna push it. Obviously this would be easier if I was using a slightly larger tray. This is why it is good to use like that big tray I was using earlier, because everything can lay in it flat, much easier. Whoop. Hey, check that out. So again, you're gonna grab a heavy piece of paper or a piece of cardboard or credit card, whatever you're using, and you're gonna scrape off, oh, we got a little extra, but that's okay. And you're gonna scrape off that foam. It wasn't as much this time. Hey, check it out. We got some really nice heart prints that time. Now, if I hadn't cut this so funky, I would actually be able to also use this paper because that side's also gonna look cool. And so I could scrape this clean if I wanted to and use that for something. That is also gonna be, actually I didn't have that much stuff to it. That made some really, really neat patterns. I'm really happy with that. Now we gotta, so you can see it lifted it all off of there. We would not get a second round out of this. I would have to scrape the top layer off, spray some more, do it again. But you can kind of just keep going that way. Now let's get these guys. Ooh, that sunk right in and doesn't need to be scraped. That didn't have any floof on it at all, really. So now we've got, move this over so we can put our cute little hearts over here. This one needs a little scrape. These actually started sinking through to the other side, so you do have to try to yank them up a little faster than I just did. Be swift. Don't leave them to marinate too long or they'll end up like that. But these came out really nice. Now you can see there's still some space around the edges here, so actually let me do the other sides of these so you can see what happens when you pick them straight up. You just want to set them for just a minute. Don't want it to marinate too long. Whoop. Ah, see, that's much crisper. Much crisper. So yeah, try to yank them right up. I was so excited about the stencil one. I forgot not to leave those marinating. So yeah, you're gonna just dunk those in, pick them straight up so you can have shape ones. You can do stencils. A really fun one to do is to cut out a shape of a snowman and make a snowman print. That's really, really fun. Or you can draw pictures and then do swirlies all over with your foam print. So I want to see what you make with your shaving cream prints. So find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram. You can find all of our contact information on Marietta Cobb artmuseum.org, and I'll see you again soon for another Arty party. Be creative, have fun,